Love you.
All right. Well, we are back. I'm Brad Listi here with Mira Gonzalez, and this is Brad and Mira for the Culture. We're going to, dissect the culture. That's what we do, right?
That's what we do. And we're also going to start off this episode with a voice memo that Brad left me earlier.
Uh-oh. Wait,
that,
what?
It's a voice memo Brad left me earlier this week. That's one of his, he does this sometimes, but it's one of his more unhinged voice recordings. So let's all enjoy.
Wait, what?
So, listen, when you poop alone, right? You don't bring your family into the bathroom to sit around you in a semicircle to watch you defecate. And pooping is part of the digestive life cycle. It's the terminus, right? It's the terminal experience of the digestive life cycle. The digestive life cycle begins, in essence, with eating. If we're going to poop alone, as we shouldn't the beginning stage of the process when you are shoveling organic matter into your mouth and masticating and slurping and slopping, shouldn't that be done alone? Why have we decided that this is to be done in a group setting? It makes no sense. It's inconsiderate and wrong. And I find it abhorrent and deeply upsetting.
Is that what I sound like?
That is what you sound like. Well, honestly, you sound a little different to me right now than in that recording, but
yeah, I sound like Alec Baldwin in that recording.
Mostly I want people to know this is like Brad sending this at like 8 p.m. when he's like almost asleep on like a fucking like Thursday night, just like out of nowhere. I was like, okay, Brad, that's nice.
Note the 8 p.m. bedtime.
Yeah, 8 p.m. bedtime. I mean, you might have a 9 p.m. bedtime, but you were like, preparing. You were getting there. It's probably 8 p.m. sometimes.
I mean, I just have to say that this is at least partially shtick. I think people who have listened to me for long enough know that I have issues with the sound of chewing. What do we call that? Misophonia? It's the sound of chewing. Drives me crazy. So
yeah, it's true. You don't like it.
I like the idea of eating in isolation for everyone as opposed to eating in large groups. But
I love how you were like, it's mostly shtick, and then proceeded to be like, actually, this is how I really feel.
Well, here's the thing about me. I will have and will sometimes voice like these really strong opinions, but the reality is that I can eat at a table with people without difficulty. It's not like I can't do it.
I've seen it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go out to lunch with somebody. If you want to sit there and do it, let's do it. But I feel like it is weird when you really stop and think about the fact that human beings, I mean, all animals, but human beings, in order to live, have to like put organic matter into this hole in our face, like chew it to liquid, and then we got to poop. I mean, it's just all.
Have you ever enjoyed food like once in your life?
Oh, I like food. I like to eat. I do like food, but I just think I think it's a little odd.
Like, what is like Thanksgiving like for you? Is it just kind of like torment?
No, I mean, I can do it. I don't love holidays. That's another thing.
Yeah, holidays.
I'll leave you a voicemail about that at some point too. I'm not a huge fan of special days where everyone's all like, but I actually think among holidays, Thanksgiving is less onerous to me because it's not attached to some religious thing or gift giving and all that kind of stuff. I like Thanksgiving is just like a lazy day where you have a big meal at midday.
Yeah, not in my family. In my family, it's kind of like a weeks beforehand stressing about it. And then on the day of, it's like everybody's having the most stressful day of their life. And we're all kind of like pretending that it's fun. But really, we're just trying to kind of entertain grandpa so he doesn't notice that like the kitchen is a war zone. And I'm kind of with you on holidays.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is that like, I don't like this notion that we're supposed to be like happier than we normally are on these days, or somehow put on this kind of like show or deliver gifts and I don't know, like it's like this performative thing. I just resent it. It's like, I just want it to be another day. Every day is special. We're all happy to be alive. Like,
or every day is not special, and then no days are special, and that's fine, and whatever. I prefer kids is my feeling. Like really, like if you have kids, Christmas is nice. Like they get excited about gifts or whatever, and that's cute in the morning.
100%. But that's the thing, because these days are childish.
Right.
And that's what because they're for children. And
Yeah.
that's what I can't stand is when adults cling to that. It's like sort of falls into this camp of adults who like love to go to Disneyland.
I was gonna say it's like Disney adults. It's like people who are like really into like, I guess like Halloween decorations. I could get into like a giant skeleton or something funny like that is kind of funny, goth, whatever. But like people who are really into like Christmas songs and Christmas decorations. Like I mean, I'm a Jew, but like I don't know. People are really into Hanukkah decorations. Even I'm like, I'll have a menorah maybe. Like that's it. Like I'm just like not. Like we stopped getting Christmas trees like on the non-Jewish side like a long time ago. We were just like, it's pine needles all over the floor. It kind of gives me allergies. Like fuck it.
When you have kids, then you get a tree. They like the light. It's like a pretty fun thing to decorate and everything. And I think Halloween is very cute, especially with like little tiny kids, putting them in costumes and stuff. That's very fun. I will say this though. I don't know if this is how it is everywhere, but in LA, there's a definite, like you notice certain behaviors among fellow parents, and it's very like, it's like trendy to be like, yeah, Halloween's my favorite holiday.
Yeah.
So I resent Halloween for that fact. I hate that. I don't like when parents try to be cool. And they're like I'm a rocker mom, not a soccer mom. And it's like, no, you're old. You had a baby. It's over for you. You're not cool anymore. And like dad with the tattoos and like the Ramones t-shirt in line for pickup at, preschool. Okay, great. But like, it's over. You're not cool anymore.
Let it go. Yeah.
Let it go. Let it go. And then like, I'm not into Christmas. I like Halloween because it's dark and goth and it's about death. And it's like, all right, we get it. We get it.
The most goth thing is liking no holidays. However, I do want to note that my dad is the former founding member of a fairly famous punk band.
Right.
So, maybe he gets to be a little bit of a punk parent, but
of course, yeah. Well, he's actually he's in Mira's stepdad Chuck Dukowski is in Black Flag. Is it still going?
No.
Okay.
It's a long time ago. So I'm a Nepo baby. Now we all know.
That's right. Mira did not follow him into punk rock, the profession of. I guess you're somewhat punk rock in your attitude or something, but
I guess I'm punk rock in that I am constantly scaring my parents in a variety of ways.
That's right. You're just unsettling in
yeah,
general.
Exactly. I'm not punk rock. I'm just unsettling.
So yeah, I don't know. I'd be perfectly content in a world with no holidays and no tribes, no rituals, no religion. I'm like John Lennon. I just want it all gone. I think we'd be better off. Like everybody attaching emotionally to these things is part of the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm with you. I think like birthdays can be fun if people aren't like really intense about it. Like for me, it's like, okay, it's my birthday. I like to go like see a movie and like not have a party and like that's it. And like that is a nice way for me to celebrate my birthday. And if everyone wants to do something like that, that seems okay. But like these like whole fucking giant thing, you have to get these expensive gifts, and it's just like Jesus fuck. Like I don't want to go to Los Feliz and spend fucking like $70 on cocktails.
No. And can I file a complaint here as well? Like, what is it with these adults who feel compelled to announce their birthday? Have we talked about this, announcing your birthday on social media?
Oh, yeah. I'll like it's my birthday, so people are like, happy birthday, Mira, but that's pretty much as far as I'll go.
Yeah, everybody's just fishing for likes and social media reciprocity. Grow up.
Yeah, I mean, that's 100% like the reason why I would ever tweet it's my birthday. I see no other reason to do that. Well,
but I mean, I think you usually tweet like, it's my birthday, send me money.
Yeah, I'll be like, send me money on Venmo. It's my birthday. People do sometimes.
I bet. That's what you should do. Everyone should ask for money on their birthday. That's what I mean.
It's what my parents always give me. They're like, what do you want for your birthday? And I'm like, an envelope with a check in it for whatever you were going to spend on gifts. And they're like, great, easier for me.
Yeah, exactly.
So our first story of the day.
Oh boy.
So our first story of the day is about, we don't normally discuss politics, but this is about Donald Trump, who unfortunately is perhaps one of the funniest men alive right now, not intentionally. So I guess there was a town hall that he had in Pennsylvania last night. And for some reason, at the end of the town hall, he stood there silently for 39 minutes and just let songs play, which included Ave Maria 6 times.
Wait, they played the same song 6 times?
They played Ave Maria on a loop 6 times before moving on to other songs. And he was just standing there kind of swaying silently a little bit. Like, and as people kind of like filed out of the venue, I guess. They played YMCA, November Rain by Guns N' Roses. Like, I don't know why nobody cut to commercial or got him off the stage. Like, that's like, okay, he's confused enough that he's on the stage standing there for 30 minutes. That's wild. But like, why was his staff or like whoever was like his handler was just kind of like behind him, like his hype man, like hyping up the crowd. Like, she was just like, okay, yeah, like YMCA. Like, it was the weirdest fucking thing. It
was Kristi Noem, the governor of I think it's South Dakota. She's the one who shot her puppy when it didn't behave. Like let it into its like a shallow grave and shot it with a rifle. I mean, let me just say,
why do so many Republicans kill dogs?
Because they're psychotic and it's a cult. That's why nobody pulled him off the stage, because they couldn't figure out how to do it without causing a scene that would then spiral into even worse news coverage.
I mean, cut to commercial.
Well, they don't control that. I'm sure Fox News did, but like, you're sitting there for.
It was just there. Like, on air, it was live.
I mean, it's deeply weird. And like this, I got a lot to say about this. Like, first of all, the double standard. Like, if Joe Biden or Kamala Harris pulled this shit, it would be wall-to-wall coverage about dementia and the 25th Amendment and, oh my God, she's lost her mind. Like, this is crazy. She's not well. We need to have a serious conversation about the fact that the guy obviously has dementia and is in rapidly declining cognitive health and like doesn't have his marbles, right? I mean, like, this is clear at this point, and yet we're not really having a serious conversation about it. And we're 2 weeks, 3 weeks out from the election. Why does he get a pass on all of this shit? He gets a pass on everything and is held to a low standard that nobody else gets to enjoy. I don't get it.
It's because he comes from like the Roy Cohn school of like, never admit that you ever did anything wrong. And if you did something that people don't like, double down on it and never apologize. And I think that is like not weirdly, but horrifyingly like the key to being able to do whatever the fuck you want. Because as soon as you admit fault, then you've done something wrong. But Trump never does that. He's going to go on stage and he's going to be like, yeah, I danced to some songs, whatever. And then people are going to be like, yeah, see, he was just dancing to songs and it's fine. And like, that is going to be the narrative, because like the Roy Cohn school that he fucking taught Trump is like, just deny until it becomes the truth.
Like, always play offense, never apologize.
Yeah.
And then I think critically too, it's like when you do something crazy or something that's transgressive or damaging to the country or damaging in some way for you politically, you don't apologize. And not only that, you do something even worse soon after, or something even more bombastic soon after, so that you're just layering craziness upon craziness. And so the media either just chooses not to or can't keep up. And the public certainly can't. So it just becomes this wash. And it's called flooding the zone with shit, I think is the way that Steve Bannon put it. But I gotta say, like, to anybody out there listening who is thinking about voting for this guy,
do you think that any of our listeners are going to be listening to this and thinking about, do you think any single Trump supporter listens to your literary podcast or to our pop culture podcast? Like, people are in my fucking DMs being like, I hope you fucking die, commie. Like, I think we're good on that.
I mean, I would hope not, but I can't believe anybody is thinking of voting for this guy. He is a serial criminal, a demented carnival barker, an adjudicated rapist, a fraud, like a serial sexual assault committer. I mean, like, there's endless craziness to point to. It is like so far through the looking glass that we are considering giving this motherfucker the nuclear codes that I can't believe that, like, we haven't seen, that movie Network, where like the Howard
right.
Rourke?
It's like
the newscaster,
and I'm not going to take it anymore.
Yeah, like the newscaster like breaches the fourth wall and just starts talking to the screen, like basically saying,
great movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. The screenplay, Paddy Chayefsky, it's like one of the all-time greats. But I feel like we need one of these moments. I need, like, I don't know who it would be anymore because we
Trump
don't have.
is doing it. That's the issue, is that Trump is the I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore guy who's breaking the fourth wall on the screen, being like, see these fucking idiots here on MSNBC? They're like doing a bunch of dumb shit, right, guys? Like, he's the guy.
I don't know. He's definitely crazy, but I feel like we need someone to cut through and just be like, guys, like, we got to pull ourselves back from the brink. This is completely bananas.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the Democrats are the only ones who have the power to do that.
Well, there's
they
lots
really
of people.
like serially fucking up.
What about Liz Cheney? She could speak to
Oh
me.
yeah, Liz Cheney. She's gonna cut through, right? We're gonna have a fucking Jesus. You see that fucking Amy Klobuchar tweet that made me want to kill myself in front of her so that I change the trajectory of her life forever?
What?
Like, it was like, she was like, you know, what we're gonna see is Bernie Sanders and Dick Cheney together in a bus that says Brat Fall on the side. It's just like, it's the most word soup, meaningless sentence I've ever seen in my fucking life. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, why are they on a bus together? Why does it say Brat Fall? What's the point of them being on a bus together? Bernie Sanders, like, he's a war criminal, and Bernie Sanders has said that over. Like, what is the goal? Like,
maybe she was trying to make a joke.
Not really, no. It was like pretty, like, she got like an applause after. She's just a fucking weird. That woman is a fucking weirdo.
I feel like it would be interesting. Like, I want, like, kind of personally, I would love to see Dick Cheney and Bernie do a rally together just to see what would happen.
I would love to see Dick Cheney 6 feet underground, frankly.
Can you imagine? Like, Dick Cheney is still kicking. I can't believe that dude, like, had like didn't he have like a heart replacement, like, while he was vice president? I
mean, probably. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Hell is patient.
I guess. I don't know. It's, you know, I got to say too, though, is that everyone gets I see all these people on Twitter getting mad about these endorsements coming in from, like, Republicans or former Republicans, and people getting angry about it. It's like, don't worry about it. Like, take endorsements wherever you can get them. Like, just because, I mean, you can't control who supports you. And it's like, what do they call them? Like, Reagan Democrats. You know, when Reagan won his elections in the 80s, he brought in all these people from the other party. It doesn't mean that he became a Democrat.
And he was a great president.
Well, no, he was awful. But I'm just saying that, like, he did. I mean, that proves my point. He didn't become a Democrat because he brought in support from across the aisle. It actually just bolstered him and made him able to, like, you know, do what he wanted to do more easily.
Well, this is quickly going to descend into a conversation where I'm telling Brad to read Wikipedia pages, and I'm saying that I think we need to, like, abolish, you know, some, like, the police state and blah blah blah. So you know, maybe we should stick with pop culture.
Yeah, right. Mira's blood pressure is spiking.
I'm gonna activate soon, and nobody wants to see me activated.
Well, what else is happening? What else do we got going on?
Well, another subject that we both love. Our man, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., says, shockingly, to all of our surprise, that he will not drop out of politics no matter how many embarrassing stories come to light. Now, I think we all knew this already.
I was going to say, yeah, like, tell me something I don't know.
Like, I think that's kind of old news. Like, you know, I mean, I think that was old news as soon as he, like, had a press release that said, like, a worm ate part of his brain and then died. Like, I don't understand why he's saying this now, except that maybe probably, given his fucking history, are there more stories that are going to come to light? Is he preempting them? Is that why he's saying this?
I mean, he's got to believe that they could. He knows what he's done. I mean, guys, he's, like he said, he's not a church boy or whatever he said about himself. Like, he has a sex addiction, if that's a way to put it, that I think is pretty...
Like, none of the scandals that have been a big issue were even sex-related besides that Olivia Nutsy thing. Like, everything was like, I killed an animal. I killed an animal in a weird way. Did I kill an animal? Like, it's all that.
Yeah.
Like, he can be like, you know, I'm no church boy, but, like, all the things that he did, like, didn't even involve women and drugs. It was just, like, weird shit.
That's the thing. Like, this is just a reflection of kind of what we were talking about with Trump. Like, we're in, like, the post-shame era of American life where there's really no at least on the right. I feel like the Democrats, close ranks
Nothing but shame.
yeah, they're all about shame. And
Yeah,
like, but I mean, like, honestly, like a little bit of shame is healthy. Like if you transgress severely enough, or if you behave in a way that does not observe like, some
there's a social purpose to shame.
Yeah. And like decorum, especially among our leadership, like political leadership, is a good thing. Having somebody like Trump or like RFK who are just like, yeah, I beheaded a whale and I'm grabbing people by the, what, like you can't function as a society for very long if that's what's happening at the top.
No. I mean, and most empires fall in 250 years on average, and America is like 247 years old. So we'll see how that goes.
Right on time. Right on time.
Right on time. See, when you're a perpetual pessimist, the way that I am, it becomes hard to be surprised by even the most horrific shit. And when I am surprised by it, I'm like, whoa, that's really fucking bad. Oh my God.
I mean, I'm old enough to remember when like Howard Dean, do you remember Howard Dean? Yeah, he made that noise. He like at the Iowa, he lost the Iowa caucus, I think. Didn't he lose to John Kerry? And it was 2004.
Because of that.
He dropped out.
Sure he did that and everybody made fun of him so hard that he dropped out.
Yeah, because it was
a good politician.
Yeah, but it felt like an unseemly breach of political like leadership decorum. Just to yelp into a microphone.
Yeah, like for those who don't know, he was at a rally for his what was the campaign? He was running for
I think he was running for the Democratic nomination in 2004, and he had kind of an insurgent campaign. He was sort of the outsider. Yeah. Well, yeah, and he was hot for a while, but then he gets to Iowa, and I think people thought he was going to win, and he lost. And in the aftermath, I think he was sort of realizing painfully that he wasn't going to be the nominee, and so he gave this fiery speech to try to encourage people to fight on his behalf, and he let out this yelp, and it actually
it sounded like this. He went, and he did this with his arm too. He went, yeah, like that. It was a really crazy noise, and it was like a very, very funny video. If you look up Howard Dean, like Pyaw, you could probably just say PYAH, it'll come up right away.
But I mean, that's the thing. That wasn't all that long ago. And that was enough to end a candidacy.
Yeah,
and since
that's
then,
how far we've fallen.
We've gone off the cliff. At least
that was too much decorum, and now we're like way too far on the other side.
Especially, I mean, we should be on it. We got to be fair about this. Like, it's mostly Republicans who've gone off the cliff, and I think that Democrats are like trying to hold the line.
They could almost go more off the cliff and benefit from that. It's like they're like very decorum based.
Yeah, but I mean, like the thing is that if they go off the cliff, then there's nothing. You know what I'm saying? If they like try to play that game and like it's just a race to the bottom. Yeah, I think that's definitely true. But we're gonna have Dick Cheney on a bus with Bernie Sanders, and the side's gonna say pratfall. I want Dick Cheney and Bernie Sanders to just like hug it out on stage.
I want them to fight to the death. Like I want like a cage match, like no holds bar, like bare knuckle, just fucking like fighting to the death. I really feel, despite the fact that Dick Cheney has committed many more murders, I think Bernie Sanders is scrappy, and I think he would win.
They both have bad hearts.
I think Bernie would lose to Liz Cheney.
Yeah, Liz Cheney's tough. I feel like she's a scrapper.
Yeah, I feel like she'd go for the eyes, like she would just like immediately play dirty. Like it would be like, fucking fingers in the nostrils, like just like, knee to the nuts.
Just gouge Bernie's eyes out.
Yeah, like immediately just go gouge Bernie's eyes out.
Get your fingers out of my eyeballs.
Is that your Bernie Sanders? Okay, we've come to the bad Brad impression of the day.
He is a war criminal, but we agree on this fundamental issue.
It's a little bit better than your Christopher Walken, but they're similar impressions. Like I could hear a little Christopher Walken in that.
I feel like Christopher Walken's is he from like Brooklyn or Jersey or something? I feel like he's got like a little bit of that.
Right? I feel like that's got to be what it is.
The millionaires.
I thought about is it like a Long Island thing? Like
who? Bernie?
No, Christopher Walken.
I feel like it's Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey. Is that what it is?
I think so. I mean, you could look it up on Wikipedia. I'm totally guessing where he's from.
So, okay, you're guessing Jersey. I'm gonna guess like somewhere in New York. Let's see. Where is Christopher Walken from, and I will simply restate here, tell us what you know about Natalie Wood, Christopher Walken. Astoria, New York. He's from Queens.
He's from Queens. There you go. Bernie's from Brooklyn. So
yeah, Bernie's from Brooklyn. That is true.
So what else is happening? Anything?
So let's see. We have one more vaguely politics related story. Kid Rock threatens to leave the U.S. if Donald Trump loses the 2024 presidential election. Now, what I want to know is what country will take him.
I think everybody who says, because people say this across the spectrum, it's like, if my candidate loses, I'm fleeing.
Yeah, moving.
Very, it's usually bullshit. It's bullshit. It's emotional. It's an emotional posture. It's not something that most people do or even could do.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, like, if you wanted to do it, if you really truly like was like, okay, I'm going to do it. Like, I don't know if any country would take him. Who wants Kid Rock?
Like Dubai.
Yeah, okay, that's true. Dubai, they might take him. Or like that weird, like, social media influencer, like, empty town in Saudi Arabia, where it's like just fucking, like, an empty, like, office building town, like, full of, like, some people who are kind of popular on Instagram.
I mean, yeah, honestly, it's interesting to consider if he would follow through, because he has the resources to do it. But, like, somebody with his politics...
Like, what country would be conservative enough for him?
That's what I'm saying. It's not about who would take him. Like, anybody would. He can move anywhere. He's got enough money. But, like, anywhere he goes, does he think he's going to get, like, what he's looking for? Imagine
he goes to Europe. Imagine he goes to fucking Japan, China. Everywhere's going to be too liberal for him, or it's going to be like a dictatorship.
Yeah, this awful place where people get health care and, like, you know.
Yeah. Like, if he goes to, like, anywhere in, like, Europe, for literally anywhere, he's going to be like, oh, like, the basic leftist position is what I view as communism.
Well, yeah, or he'll go to, like, France and, like, support, what's her name, Marine Le Pen. There's, like, the nationalists. Or he'll go to, like, Austria. That's where he'll wind up. He'll be in Austria, like, supporting the new Nazis or whatever. But I kind of hope. I obviously hope Trump loses, and I hope Kid Rock does go live somewhere in Europe and, like, get out of America. It probably would do him some good.
Yeah, he's never gonna fucking do that. I'm not even convinced that he has enough money to, honestly. He probably did at one point, but who knows what the fuck his money situation is now.
He's a rich kid. That's the thing about him. He's such a fraud. He grew up in a mansion in Michigan. Yes. Google Kid Rock's childhood home.
Oh my God, okay.
Tell me what you see.
Kid Rock, childhood.
He's parading around like he's some sort of avatar for the working man, and it's absolute horseshit.
Okay,
Describe for listeners what you see, Mira.
Okay, so I'm looking at this house. What I'm seeing is, like, a kind of sprawling estate with, like, the biggest pine trees you've ever seen in your life, surrounded by, like, giant, beautiful trees, in what appears to be, like, a grassy knoll that only has, like, other mansions on it in the distance. There's, like, the estate itself seems to have a tennis court on it. It's got one of those, like, round driveways.
Yeah, it's an estate. It's not like he grew up in a McMansion in some suburban neighborhood.
No, this is an estate. Like, he has a pool house and a tennis court.
Yeah, that's Kid Rock. That's his origin.
And a lake. Okay.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He's got, like, a private pond. That's where he grew up fishing.
That is so fucking funny. That is so funny. Like,
that tells you everything you need to know about him. Yeah. He's a fraud, and he pretends to somehow be this kind of working class hero and whatever the fuck. And I'm curious to know, like, how did that even happen? Is it just branding? Is it a branding exercise? But he seems to really believe in this shit.
Like, I think it's, like, branding, like, the same way that, like, I don't know, Lana Del Rey is, like, so indicative of, like, the Midwest when she's actually from New York. Like, it's just branding. Yeah,
and it's like, I think Ted Nugent is from Michigan, too.
Oh, is he?
What is it with Michigan? These kind of, like...
Seems cursed. Except isn't Prince from Michigan?
No, he's from Minnesota.
Minnesota, okay. Yeah, so Michigan's cursed.
I mean, it just, like, there seems to be, like, there's a certain kind of, like, super right-wing dude who can emerge from the Michigan cultural context who's, like...
Ooh, yeah.
He's got, like, militia vibes and, like...
Right. And he's, like, right to bear arms. Like, he's got a motorcycle gang kind of vibe. Like, he really wants to be, like, part of like the working class, like poor working class. Like I'm going to go to the mines and I'm going to drive my Harley Davidson.
Yeah, it's all. And the thing is that it's just not even. It's not even really authentic. That's the thing.
If it was authentic, it'd be like kind of fun and cool, but it's not.
Kid Rock.
Fucking Kid Rock, what a dumbass. He looks like shit these days too.
Well, he hasn't exactly taken great care of himself. I mean, he's like a chain smoking drinker, and I think I'm going to put my money, if he does leave. First of all, I think my money would be on he does not leave if Trump loses. But if he does leave, I'm going to put my money on. I guess I'll go with Dubai. Austria is second, but I'm going to say he'll wind up in some weird Middle Eastern place.
Yeah, I mean, Dubai seems right. Or like...
the Emirates, or like,
Russia?
Honestly, who knows? Like, maybe. Or he'll wind up in like... He'll go to North Korea.
Yeah, exactly. He'll go to North Korea, befriend Kim Jong-un.
He'll be in Pyongyang, just cutting his next album at some weird like studio,
Yeah, with like the North Korean orchestra behind him.
Yeah, he'll perform a private concert for the North Korean Congress or whatever. Have you ever seen videos of it?
Yeah, right. They're like all like in sync and shit. It's like, yeah, it's genuinely impressive.
That's right. I hope he ends up in North Korea. That's where he belongs.
Man, I mean, like, what has he ever... He has, like, 2 songs. One is, My Name is Kid Rock.
Ba with Ba. That was his first...
Oh, yeah, right. Okay,
that was
3 songs.
And then Going Out West or whatever,
He said, ain't nobody gonna tell me how to live.
Well, the other thing too is he like sort of like mocks, or not mocks, but he uses like the riff from like Sweet Home Alabama, and then created some song about like like Redneck Summer or whatever, and it's not even his song. I mean, I guess people do this, like they sample other artists or whatever, but
yeah, but like clearly he's not very talented personally.
Actually, I think, like, in his defense, I think he actually is musically gifted. He can sing. He can play instruments. Yeah, he can. I mean,
he can play instruments?
Yeah. He's like, I mean, listen, Little Bob Ritchie, I think that's his name. I'm sure he had a grand piano in his bedroom as a child or whatever. Like, I think he grew up with like very nice piano lessons. And,
I mean, let's be fair, a baby grand piano, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, just in the bedroom, but downstairs in the...
right, get the full one downstairs in the foyer,
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's where you put the big one. But
nobody plays it, but, it's down there.
Yeah. But I think, like, I want to say early in his career, I saw some sort of like MTV thing where he was in the studio, and I was like, oh, he can play, and he's got like a singing voice and the whole thing. But I just don't get why he is so like rabidly hard right and like just angry. It's just strange.
Probably because he comes from such a rich family from Michigan.
Yeah. His parents were like, this is what you do. Protect the
like fiscally conservative. Let's go.
I guess, but
Kid Rock was like, you know what, socially conservative too.
Yeah. I'll see your fiscal conservatism, and I'll raise you and make. Well, I hope he does end up leaving the country and branching out, traveling the world. This is something else I don't understand about people who make a ton of money. Like, we've talked before more than once about how we believe that people who make a ton of money should give the money away, or at least a lot of it away. Like, that's the only like sane thing to do with like some sort of crazy fortune. But, I know people who have either been born wealthy or who have gotten wealthy, and very few of them travel in the way that I imagine I would travel if I ever had like a ton of largesse. Like, I feel like I would go see the world. Nobody does that. I guess people don't like to travel. People do like to.
I feel like rich people travel, don't they? Like, I feel like they're always on boats and shit and like different places. Like,
I know, but it's like, that's like luxury travel. I'm talking like go around the world, like go see shit and like Instagram about it or whatever. Like, let me vicariously.
I think they only do like luxury travel. I think it's just like they are only in places with like security and delicious food and a big pool and shit like that. It's like rich people just travel in like a way that is totally removed from everybody else.
Yeah.
Which is not really a good way to travel.
I guess it's hard for them to be in airports and to like do the normal civilian things without getting hounded. But I feel like if you're traveling far afield enough, you could do it.
Yeah, I feel like you could do it, but I mean, depending on how famous you are. Like, I feel like Taylor Swift couldn't do that anywhere, but like Jennifer Aniston probably could.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to like the African veldt or something, you're on safari. Like, no one's going to bother you, I would imagine. But it reminds me of this story. I remember, Harold Ramis, the comedic actor and director he directed Groundhog Day.
Okay, yeah.
Was in Ghostbusters. He was like the nerdy dude.
Okay.
I was reading an interview with him or something, or watching an interview like a long time ago, and he was talking about being, I want to say, in Africa with Bill Murray at some point, like in the middle of fucking nowhere, the two of them. Like, nobody knew who they were. And he loses track of Bill and ends up like walking through like a jungle or something to like this little village. And he finds like the entire village like semicircled around Bill Murray, and everyone's just like laughing and clapping. And it was like the point was that like even there, like some people just are so entertaining. Like Bill Murray immediately like had them eating out of the palm of his hand, and like they thought he was hilarious.
Yeah, some people just like automatically have the charm, and like that's why they became famous in the first place. So it's like
That's
anywhere they go, they just are gonna gather people around them.
I got to say, since this is our long-standing policy to mention when we've had a celebrity sighting or interaction, that I actually met Bill Murray.
Really? In what context?
He was giving an award at the ESPYs, and my wife worked on that show for a long time. And so I showed up with my daughter. She was little and cute. I brought her as my date to the show because I got to go. You know, and I'm a sports fan, so it was like fun to go. But Bill Murray, I was just meeting my wife at this hotel before the show. It was kind of like where she was stationed. So we went over to say hi so she could see our daughter in her little cute dress or whatever. And then it just so happened that Bill Murray was arriving to sort of get checked in before, you know, going over to the venue. And so Carrie had to say hi to him. And then she was like, "Oh, and this is my husband." And I shook his hand.
And he was friendly?
Yeah, he was like, he showed up with his date or friend, and he was, of course, like dressed very casually. You know how he is. And he didn't put on any airs. He just seemed like a guy. And like, but I grew up, I mean, he was my first movie hero. Like, I remember distinctly watching Stripes. This is common for guys of my generation to like have Bill Murray made a big impression. But Stripes, like, that was the first time I was like, oh my God, that guy's cool. And I want to be like him, to the point where I asked for one of those green like army baseball caps for Christmas. Like, I wanted to dress like him. I was so obsessed with Bill Murray, and it's not uncommon. And I think like instinctively as a boy, I just felt like, okay, this guy like knows where the fun is. Like, he's not playing by the rules, and he's getting away with it. And I don't know. I just felt
That's
like
so funny. Yeah. I guess like you were introduced to a different Bill Murray than me. I was like introduced to like Lost in Translation Bill Murray, and I'm like, oh God, he's so boring.
Yeah, just like midlife sad Bill Murray. Just
exactly. Just
drinking,
midlife depression. Yeah, drinking, just like a terror on set. Like, everyone hates him.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hard one, because like you just want to believe that your heroes are, you know, decent. I think he is. Again, I think people are complicated. I'm sure he's done horrible things in his life, as we all have.
I think I think he's very depressed.
Maybe, but he also knows how to have it. You know, he knows how to deal with it. I like that he does this thing where he like shows up to people's weddings with, even though he's not invited, and like
that seems like a depressed alcoholism thing. Like, you're like drunk, you're bored, and you're like, all right, like, I'm Bill Murray, let's go do some weird shit.
Yeah, I'm lonely. I have no friends. I'm going to come to your wedding.
Yeah, let's get some like attention on me. Why not? Like, people will be amazed. Like, it's a funny thing to do if you're a celebrity, honestly.
It's funny too. I should mention that the bit that he did that night at that award show like bombed so horribly. And I want to say Carrie talked to him afterwards, and he was like distraught. He was so bummed because and in his defense, it's a really hard thing to do, is to pull off a comedy bit at an award show, because it's all the people who are nominated. It's not a good audience. Yeah,
people probably aren't paying attention really that well. Like,
and the people at home watching can't really hear the crowd. It's just like, it's all disjointed, but he was like mortified by it, and whatever. But I feel like those stories about him, those stories where like someone will be eating like at some alfresco table in Chicago or New York or something, with like their significant other, and Bill Murray will just come up and just like take a handful of French fries off their plate and start eating them.
Yeah.
And they're like in shock. They're like, "What?" And he's like, "Nobody will ever believe you if you tell them." And then he just walks away.
That shit's really funny. Like that's like some shit that I would do. That's like if I were that famous, like that's a very funny move.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's like that to me is like the proper use of fame is to
Yeah.
just, or he'll like go to like a college party and just like walk in the door and just like start doing keg stands and stuff. Like that's fun.
Right. Nobody will ever believe you. It's like a very, very funny thing to say.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't even know how we got onto Bill Murray. What were we talking? Kid Rock somehow led us to Bill Murray.
Weird.
We're spiraling. So what else is going on?
So, okay, speaking of spiraling, Kristen Cavallari, who I'm trying to remember why she's famous. She was like maybe on The Hills or something like that.
Yeah, I'm actually a huge Hills fan. That's like one of my only like true pop culture
loves. Are you being serious right now? The Hills?
I love that show. I revere that show.
Wow.
And, yeah, I not only think like it's good, like kind of crappy junk food entertainment, but I think there is actually, because of when it happened and the way that it sort of deconstructed reality TV in a way, it was, I don't know, there was something about it. And the way that it was shot, it was so beautifully shot at the kind of, I don't know if it was the advent of digital video, but it felt like one of the first reality shows that really had that sheen. All those like aerial shots of Los Angeles and the characters, like the Spencer and Heidi fucking characters.
Wow.
Yeah, very.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't even know. My wife and I were like, I think dating at the time and living together and watched that show together, and I just got into it.
That's so funny. See, I think you might want to give Real Housewives a try. It's not dissimilar. Or honestly, Vanderpump Rules is the like the Hills walked so Vanderpump could run.
I don't know if you can do it again the way that they did it, where like they because the thing is
now.
I think that everybody just knows that it's like slightly tongue in cheek or even heavily tongue in cheek whenever you're watching one of these shows. But when The Hills was airing, I think the whole deal was like people were trying to parse how real it was.
See, reality TV shows have advanced a lot now, and like the storylines in reality TV shows blend into real life, like in Vanderpump Rules, for example, like blend into real life events that happen to them in a way where it's like genuinely it like is real. Like there's obviously like they're in a fishbowl where they're like given alcohol and they're told to fight with each other, but like the fights are based in real things, so it's like an interesting mixture of the two that I think The Hills like helped form and helped like make exist. But now it's like the format is like way more advanced and self-referential and like breaking the fourth wall and just weird, like wild shit. I can't believe you liked The Hills.
I did. I don't know what it was. I think it amused me at first because it was in Los Angeles and it was all these places that I recognized. Like a lot of it was filmed in my neighborhood. Like, right. I was living in West Hollywood. It was like, oh, and by the way, I have to also flag that I saw Kristen Cavallari years ago at the liquor store.
The liquor store? What was she buying?
I don't remember. I was at that. It's a liquor store that's on right on La Cienega in West Hollywood. It's called like Al and something like Al and Dave's or something. I forget. It's been there forever, but. I walked in. There she was with her friends. And they were getting booze. But I mean, this was 15 years ago.
Wow, that's really fucking funny. That's like do you think I should watch The Hills? Is that like worth a rewatch?
Oh, totally. Yeah, for sure. I think it's like it would actually give context maybe to like your other favorite reality shows. I would have to believe you would be able to see like the foundation. Yeah. I think the Hills walked so that Vanderpump Rules could fly. I think is like what.
Yeah, maybe not run and fly is probably better. Yeah. I think that's right. I mean, Vanderpump, it's like just a thing of its own. It's different than any other reality show, and it is like the child of like early 2000s reality shows, like that are just about like groups of friends, like The Hills, like or Laguna Beach or whatever the fuck. Like it's
the thing about The Hills is that it, maybe more so than any other I mean, I shouldn't say this because I don't watch any of them, but it was actually like really cinematically beautiful. It was beautifully shot.
The Bravo the editors of certain Bravo reality shows deserve actual awards. I believe it, like fully. Like they make like beautiful television out of like what is just reality shot in real time, which is just so impressive. Like, and the editing and like all the like weird interstitials and like it's I mean, just like the punchiness of the editing, like it is really such a feat.
Well, the story editing, they have to like draw out a narrative.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, we know like a lot of this stuff is scripted and staged, and the characters are like semi-acting, and you just sort of fall into this kind of semi-fictional version of yourself. And what's interesting is that Spidey is still together, like living like, I think like they're flourishing as a family.
Wow.
I mean, it's like so hilarious to me that one worked out. And then Kristen Cavallari is obviously, still trying to maintain a public profile, but Lauren Conrad, who was like
Lauren Conrad.
That's what I mean. She was the star of that show. She was the protagonist, and she kind of has just faded.
Weird.
I don't think she ever really loved being famous.
Yeah.
I think, Kristen Cavallari did love and does love, I think, the spotlight. But I think Lauren Conrad's like, I'm just going to cash in and like start a brand. And then
Does she have a brand?
Oh, yeah. She made a fortune selling like makeup and shit or whatever the fuck, But she sort of faded. And then what's his name? Brody Jenner.
Brody Jenner was on The Hills?
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck? See, this is like I've seen so many early 2000s reality shows, but I never delved into The Hills. That should be my next one.
Yeah.
Brody Jenner was like the least interesting character on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Like they kind of tried to bring him in sometimes, it was just like, no, this sucks.
No, he was like the quintessential like California bro, like heartthrob of The Hills.
Wow.
I want to say he dated Kristen, didn't he? I can't remember.
Was this before Keeping Up with the Kardashians, or was it like airing at the same time?
I think I want to say The Hills preceded the Kardashians. I think it was kind of like a forebear to it, but I could be, I don't have the timeline perfect in my head.
I feel like it might have been at the same time. We're gonna have to look that up. Because maybe if it was it before the Kardashians?
It was like 2003, 2004, 2005 era.
It's like around the same time, but who knows?
Yeah.
Well, anyways, so Kristen Cavallari believes that Kanye West is a clone.
Okay.
The story.
What the fuck does that mean? She thinks that he's like been recreated as like a...
I mean, the headline is, I think Kanye West is now a clone. I said what I said. So she took to her podcast, I guess, and said, look at him, compare old photos of him. It's not the same fucking person. It's not. Don't cancel me, Hollywood.
Kristen's co-host, Justin Anderson, I don't know who he is, was not sold on her theory, however, countering that Ye simply went away to, quote, gain weight.
I'm sorry. Can you say Kanye's name again?
Ye? What is it? Ye? Ye? Oh, yeah, Kanye.
Maybe not Kanye.
Well, it's like, his brand is called Yeezy. I don't know what the fuck to call him.
It's Ye.
Okay, Ye, yeah.
Like, okay, nonetheless, she doubled down on her beliefs, suggesting secret groups like the Illuminati will kill those who speak the truth. She added, but I believe this with every ounce of my body.
Yeah, she strikes me as somebody who would be deep into the conspiracy thing.
So, was she on The Hills and Laguna Beach?
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
She was sort of the like the alpha queen of those shows, and kind of the mean girl.
So she got all these comments from people agreeing with her. Like,
people are ready to believe anything. People
are awake.
Yeah. People will believe anything. That's part of the moment that we're living in now, is that truth has been so like the concept of truth has been so badly damaged that you could literally say anything and you'll have people believing you.
I mean, let's be real. Kanye just got fat. That's all that happened. You just gained weight.
I don't understand how you would, we don't even have the ability to clone like this. Like, and then he's already an adult. Like, I get, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, okay. So you take some DNA from Kanye and then you put it in a petri dish or whatever and grow a human. Even if that had happened, it would have to have happened recently. And so Kanye, the clone, would be a child.
Right. They would have had to like grow baby Kanye from being a baby until he's an adult and then be like, okay, now you're going to replace Kanye.
I feel like she's just saying crazy shit to get clicks. I don't think she doesn't believe that Kanye is a clone.
I mean, she doubled down. She said, I said what I said.
Yeah. That's another, again, that's another like hallmark of the moment that we're living through, is like, when in doubt, double down on whatever crazy shit you just said,
Don't back down, double down. I mean,
that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually, I believe her, actually. I'm just going to say I believe her. I think Kanye West is a clone. I don't really need any proof or explanation as to why. I think she's right. I agree.
What is the Illuminati? I should know this, but like, why do people always point to the Illuminati? It's like the secret subgroup of elite weirdos.
It's like, just like everything. It's like, okay, there's like something is happening that I don't understand. It's like the Illuminati. It's like the Jewish Illuminati. It's the government Illuminati. It's the Kanye West Illuminati. Like, it's everywhere. It's like just like the OG like conspiracy theory that is just like so broad that it can encompass literally everything.
It's like a catch-all, like for any conspiracy theory. You just blame it on them.
Exactly. It's like, that's the cabal of fucking like, I don't know, people in power who are fucking shit up and like anywhere at any given time for any reason.
I think it's Opus Dei. That's what we got to worry about. This that's like this like weird Catholic cult, and it's Leonard Leo. He's like this ultra right wing dude who basically has paid for the current Supreme Court that we have. He's in it. And it's like, in the, what was it called? The Dan Brown novel that was made into a movie, The Da Vinci Code. Yeah, where the dude is like lashing it, like that albino dude is like lashing himself with a whip, like self-flagellating.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That's the Opus Dei. That's part of it. It's like this
lashing yourself.
Yeah, like you have to you have to whip yourself as like a way to atone to God or whatever. But that's where it originated. It originated in Opus Dei, if I'm not mistaken. It's part of that. It's part of that like secret subgroup, and it's all so fucking weird. But I want to say, of the 9 Supreme Court justices, like 6 of them are Catholic.
Yeah,
which
is not Opus Dei.
But
that we know of.
That we know. I could see any one of those right-wing justices nude, like lashing themselves. Like, I wouldn't put it past them. Like John Roberts,
for sure.
Kavanaugh definitely is into it.
That's easy to imagine.
I could see Samuel Alito whipping himself.
yeah, I can absolutely see that. I could see
whimpering and begging for forgiveness from. I don't know. It's just.
I could see Clarence Thomas having his wife do it. Like lashing him for him because he doesn't want to do it himself.
These people are all so fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
They rule over us. It's so depressing.
Yeah, they're fucking freaks. I feel things about those people that I shouldn't say on a podcast.
I'm exhausted thinking about them. That's my general reaction to all of it. I just feel this like wave of just exhaustion break over me like a tsunami.
Yeah, you're just like, oh god, I'm so tired.
Yeah, just it's like when you get bit by a tsetse fly, that when you just fall asleep suddenly. That's kind of how I feel. As soon as I start,
what is that? That's like a new fear that's going to be unlocked.
It's like in the Amazon or something like that. You're in the jungle and you get bit by a tsetse, and I forget how you spell it. It's like TSE. It's called a tsetse fly. You never heard of this?
And you just like pass out.
Yeah, you pass out
and die, or just pass out.
I think you just pass out. I think it's a sleep thing. It knocks you out.
Whoa, weird. Yeah. I've never heard of that in my life. Ever. I don't know.
I don't know how I know that. It's buried in my wiring somewhere, but you can Google it if you're listening and you want to learn about cool nature.
Get really scared.
I want to know where they live because they're not in America. Like I think
that's good.
But I feel like they should be loosed. I feel like we need more of this. We need tsetse flies. Yeah.
We need more. He's going to run for president on the platform if we need more tsetse flies.
Just people. I want people just dropping all over the place into like a deep sleep.
Like fainting goats just like passing out.
Can you argue against it? Doesn't humanity? I feel like humanity would benefit from more naps.
Yeah, it's true. People do need to sleep more. People don't sleep enough.
And just like they need to be it needs to be enforced upon us. We can't be counted on to make it happen on our own.
That's right. It needs to be enforced upon us. We need to have like legally mandated sleeping. Just, like get this fly, just sting you. All right, see ya. You're out.
I just want to be out in public and just see people dropping,
Dark.
Yeah.
So our next story also concerns Kanye West, as many fucking stories do. God help us all. So his wife, Bianca Sensori, said that, or maybe she didn't say it. Somebody said that.
No, it was his former assistant. Remember his former assistant made all these like sexual assault claims, right?
Oh, is she the one who claimed that this happened?
Yeah, hang on a second. So,
What?
as Page Six previously reported, Kanye West's former assistant Lauren Pisciata made the wild allegations in a bombshell lawsuit filed on October 8th. Pisciata, who worked with Kanye from 2021 to 2022, claimed one of her former boss, Kanye West's, quote, sexual kinks was having intercourse with the moms of the women that he was dating. She cited an alleged text message from September 28th, 2022 between West, age 47, and his wife, Bianca, that read, quote, "I want to fuck your mom before she leaves." I mean, like, this is the thing. Like, that's gross, and it's also fucking weird. And I gotta admit, I'm prepared to believe it because Kanye is such an oddball.
I 100% believe it. Absolutely, I believe it. But
I don't want to believe it, but what are we supposed to think at this point? This guy's behavior is so erratic, and his treatment of women is so odd.
I fully believe it. I mean, what's so weird to me is like, well, the whole thing is fucking weird to me, but that text seems to like, it's not like a fantasy. It's like, your mom is here in town. Before she leaves, I want to fuck her. Like, that's like weirdly practical and fucked up. Like, did he really think he was going to fuck her mom? Like, it kind of seems like it.
Yeah. Ugh. This is a gross story. I don't even like talking about it. But there's photos of like Bianca with her mom. How'd you like it if your daughter was, dating or married to Kanye West?
I would not approve. I would be like, get the fuck out of there right now. Like, get out. You are in danger, girl. Like, no more.
Yeah, that's where like you hire like a team of like Navy SEALs to like exfiltrate your daughter, just like
extract your daughter from the situation, like
crash in through the windows. You know what I'm saying? Like rappel down off the roof of the house and like crash in through the windows, and then just like wrap her up in like a cloth,
right?
in an army blanket, and like just carry her out while like
you gotta get a tsetse fly in there to make her pass out and just roll her up.
Yeah, no, you got to put tsetse flies all over Kanye to knock him out.
Yeah, there you go, exactly, and then get her the fuck out of there. I mean, Jesus Christ, like, why is she still there? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's one, like, saying that is enough to leave somebody, but then it becoming public and you still haven't left him, like, no.
I think
get the fuck
just
out.
But I mean, like, it's hard to relate to when you haven't been through it. But I guess like it's like toxic relationships and feeling imprisoned and having somebody with like real psychological control over you, and then
and so much power in the media and shit. Like,
and also, that's like your meal ticket, right? I mean, I don't think Bianca Sensori's got a ton of money of her own, right? I mean, I could be wrong. I have no idea, but it seems like you're dating that guy at least partially because he's like ludicrously wealthy and famous.
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely, it's the power. It's like the notoriety, the fame. It like is a lot of power, I guess, to exert over somebody.
So you can convince yourself like, oh, this is normal.
Yeah, it's normal that he wants to fuck my mom in front of me. That's like, people do that all the time, right?
Yeah,
like,
of course. Who among us doesn't want to have sexual intercourse with our significant other's parent?
Jesus Christ, horrific! Like a horrific idea. Why the fuck? Oh my god.
See, this is the thing about so many stories in pop culture. We don't often get into these, but there are so many of them that literally just make you feel physically ill, and they have there's no redeeming value at all to this story.
Yeah, it's just like, that's disgusting. I hate it. Now I know it and I can't unknow it. Thanks. That's great.
Yeah. You're welcome, America.
See, like, compared to that other story, now this story seems totally normal and fine. So Supermodel Heidi Klum did a lingerie shoot with her daughter.
Wait. So this is a brand new story.
Yes, this is a brand new story that seems a lot less weird than the last story. Even though it is kind of weird, like now that we've like talked about this, like Kanye wanting to fuck Bianca Censori's mom, I'm like, this is downright wholesome. That Heidi Klum is posing with her daughter in lingerie. Like,
Okay, let me see this. So they're like, because Heidi Klum is a model, her daughter is gorgeous.
also a model, I think.
I mean, yeah, this. Okay, this sort of bums me out the way that all these celebrities spawn just becoming models. Like,
Okay, but like she looks like a model. Like, sorry, like that's Heidi Klum's daughter, and she looks like a model, and she's got the body of a model, and she like
Yeah.
is that like I'll forgive that because she is like clearly would be a supermodel even if she wasn't an Nepo baby.
Yeah, I guess so. But dressing in lingerie with your mom, I don't think it's not sexualized. Like they're not like
the photo isn't like weird or sexy. They're just like standing next to each other smiling.
smiling in their underwear.
Yeah, and it's like the underwear isn't like particularly revealing underwear either. It's just regular underwear. Like it's not like you can see their whole asses or anything like that.
They're just in their bloomers.
It's very like mother and daughter. Like it's certainly like they've been very careful for it to not be sexualized here. I can tell. Like it's like
Well, as they should.
As they should. It's like it honestly to me seems kind of wholesome and cute. Like and like it's like the family business. They're both supermodels. They're both used to posing like that. Like it's like if they were both in bikinis.
I think Heidi Klum has been cloned.
Interesting. I agree without hearing any details.
This is not her daughter. This is her clone. And
they're raising her to become the new Heidi Klum at some point.
That's right. That's right.
That seems right. Just like nobody knows why, just for fun.
Well, it's the Illuminati, Mira. Come on.
It's the Illuminati. They just that's what they do now. They have celebrities raise their own clones and then get replaced by them.
Do you think that modeling requires talent? Like I know you have to be physically beautiful, but like is there anything to it other than like you learn how to walk?
Yeah, but like that's not easy. And you learn how to walk in like the craziest heels you've ever seen in your life. That takes real skill. Posing, like just like posing and flattering poses for certain clothes and like being able to cycle through poses really, really quickly. Also like no easy feat. Like it seems easy, but when you try to do it, you're like, oh, this is a real fucking job. This is not easy.
It's a strange thing. It's not that hard, but it's a strange thing to master.
It's pretty hard, honestly. Like it's like I think once you've mastered it, like you're good at it and then it's not hard, but like learning how to do all that shit, how to walk like that, how to fucking like pose like in a way.
It would take like a month. It would take like a month of practice to figure it out.
It would take like a year of photo shoots because like you have to have a camera in front of you. Otherwise it's like not. And you have to be able to pose without being able to see yourself in the mirror and know if it's flattering or not. So you have to be able to like get these poses down without actually seeing them. It's
if you had a daughter and she came to you in high school and was like, "Mom, I just want to be a model," what would you say? I feel like I would be sort of like, "No, you're not doing that." But am I being a dick? Like,
yeah, I feel like I would say like, okay, well then let's start thinking about like what could be good for you. Like, do you want to like start learning about fashion? Do you want to start learning about like how to walk? Do you want to like talk to a modeling coach and see like what it entails? Like, I
think I would be like, why? I would make my kid like explain to me in depth why they want to do it. They'd have to have a good answer. If it's just
what would be like a good answer to you?
I don't know. I'm like, I guess maybe it's like, I really want a career in fashion and I want to start from the ground up and like learn what it's like on the front lines as a model. And then eventually I want to design my own shit.
That's, yeah, you don't really start out as a model if you want to work in fashion. That's kind of a very high level job in the fashion industry. Like maybe a fit model, but even then, I think the real work in modeling is like the maintaining of your body. Like you have to stay at such a low weight. And like if you gain even the tiniest bit, you'll lose all your jobs. And like your hair needs to be a certain way where like, it can be styled properly without like, damage or whatever the fuck. But then it also has to be like a color that your agency likes. Like I think that is like where a lot of the work of being a model comes in. It's just all day long, like maintaining your appearance.
Yeah, like not eating and just working out like crazy and like juicing and filming Instagram videos. I gotta say, the Instagram algorithm feeds me nothing but these girls, like models in workout clothes, doing their routines and like sharing their wellness routines with the public. And it's like, I kind of feel like an old pervert, but it's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm like scrolling through Instagram and suddenly there's this like gorgeous girl in like tights, like drinking a green juice, like doing the splits. And you're just like, what that, but it's so diabolical.
Instagram algorithms are based on what you watch. So perhaps you were watching those videos and then Instagram served them to you.
No, I swear to God, they just show up. They know you're a guy and they know you're they know what works, right? And like I'm a human being, like.
But they try what works, and then you keep watching it, and then you keep getting served it.
That's right. And it's that, and then it's people jumping off of cliffs and like base jumping and like.
So your Instagram feed is full of like snuff films and like hot girls.
Yes. And then also animal attacks. Like well, because of course, like it's messing with my what do you call it? My lizard brain. You know what I'm saying? Like they just know how to get you to pay attention. Of course, you're going to watch when like some elderly man in India is getting like mauled by a tiger.
My Instagram feed is full of like embroidery.
See, you're just a purer soul than I am. I'm a disgusting old man. Watching snuff films and young girls working out.
I'm just gonna tell your wife.
Yeah, so she knows. She wouldn't be surprised at all.
She'd be like, "Yeah, no, I fucking know, Mira. I get it. You don't have to tell me."
Yeah, I like watching some like 19-year-old supermodel share her favorite smoothie recipe.
I have like none of that, to the point where I feel like it almost makes me a little disconnected from culture or something. Like the only like influencers who I like are like interior design, like or like occasionally like fashion, but like mostly like interior design, like sewing, embroidery, like crochet. Like my fucking Instagram, it's like Pinterest.
Yeah. See, but I mean, I guess like you're better at like managing your own algorithm than I am. Like I'm just on there. I'm on there scrolling, and I got out of hand. Like I got suckered in, and I don't know how to get out of it now. Like, how do I change what they're feeding me? I just got to stop watching.
You just got to scroll quickly past like the hot young girls and short bras. I mean, I will say that my Instagram feed now is kind of like embroidery, crochet, interior design, and then like a lot of Chapel Roan. Like a lot of just like Chapel Roan with like captions that are like, "She's the most beautiful woman alive. She's an angel. I love her so much," from like, like Chapel Roan's #1 fan, Instagram account or whatever.
I get a lot of Jerry Garcia content too, because I love Jerry's my hero. I do. I love watching like the old archival footage of him playing or like doing interviews where he's just so high.
That is really funny.
Yeah. I guess it knows me. And then what else I get is I get a lot of border collie content because that's my favorite kind of dog.
I gotta say, Brad, it sounds like your algorithm is actually perfectly tailored.
Yeah, I mean, they know me, right? I guess, but it seems
it's not all the things you love.
It seems diabolical, though. There's something evil about it that I resent. I don't like.
Yeah, of course,
tracked. Yeah, I'm being tracked.
Yeah, but yet you still have an Instagram account and you do scroll it. So
it's a drug. It's like it's an addiction that we all share.
Yeah, it's a drug that like isn't as good as real drugs, but we still do it anyways.
Yeah, it's like the best most of us have got.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's like, okay, I guess I'm not going to do cocaine all the time, so I'll scroll Instagram or whatever. It's not as good, but fine.
I was having this conversation the other day with a friend of mine here in town. It was funny. I was at a coffee shop and I was sitting outside. I was on a bike ride and I stopped to get a coffee. And or not a coffee. I don't drink coffee, but I was getting a tea. I was getting my matcha. And I was sitting outside, like just wanting to like have a moment, just like relax on a Saturday morning. And there was this woman who seemed like unhoused and by the way, do you like my use of the term unhoused?
Yeah, I noticed.
Trying to be, that kind of bums me out. I don't think anybody who's actually unhoused gives a shit if you call them homeless, but
homeless is also acceptable.
I mean, yeah, she's homeless, and she just immediately comes up to me and starts talking to me. And I get into like a 45-minute long conversation with this woman, or it felt like 45 minutes. And then as I'm standing there or sitting there talking to her, a friend of mine, a writer friend of mine that I know, shows up at the coffee shop, and I was like, oh, hey. And then like, I bring her into the conversation, like, you're welcome. Just like got her lift, and she's like, who are you talking to? And we were talking about like this very thing about how phones are addictive. Like, it's a very common refrain in our lives to have this kind of conversation about how we're addicted to social media and phones. And she was like, yeah, when my dad died, she's like, no, like when my dad died and I was sitting around the house with my brother and my mom, the only thing that could stop us crying was like the anesthetizing effects of scrolling on our phones. Like, I looked up at like, some point in the grieving process, like shortly after her dad passed away, she looked up and like she and her mom and her brother were all on their phones. And it was the first time they had stopped crying. So she was like trying to like make the counter argument that
sometimes you need a break. I mean, I also say like, yes, people are addicted to social media, but they're also just addicted to socializing. I think it's like a way to socialize that is very easy. It doesn't involve going anywhere. It doesn't involve like having to meet people in a certain place at a certain time. And I think like that's a really easy addiction once we've like given it to people in a way that's like easily consumable at any point.
Yeah, clearly.
You get addicted to it.
So let's say that there is a male model who has a hot model daughter. If he and her posed in underwear together, would that be weird?
I mean, yeah, I think so. But like, that's because dads are weird. And I think that's a different thing.
Or like a dad and his like you don't see very many like male models whose sons then go on to like carry the torch. I feel like also become male models.
But you do see, well, I guess because like male models, it's like not like you don't have to be like 6 feet tall and thin, or like there's certain genetic components, but
sure you do. You have to be super hot to be a male model.
For sure. But it like most of it is like taking care of yourself versus like when you're like a female model, you have to like have certain just like ingrained traits, like your height and like, the size of your feet and shit like that.
Yeah. It's like brutal. It's brutal.
But I think like it's more common for, because like can you name a famous male model? I can't.
I'm trying to think.
Who like wasn't something else or didn't go on.
Wasn't it Antonio Sabato Jr. or something? He became it's like some Latino male model. I could be totally wrong, but he became like a MAGA guy. But
wow.
Yeah, I don't know. That is interesting. There aren't really like supermodel male models.
Because the truth is that both men and women prefer looking at women. Like fashion magazines, like women read that and you prefer to look at women. Like both genders do. It doesn't matter what your sexuality is even. Like we all prefer to look at women. And so male models, it's kind of like they're an accessory to the female model, if anything. And like there are some like, influencer male models or whatever who are like on Instagram, but you never know about a male model apart from like about for just their modeling, like, a male model because they did something else and are also a male model. It's never just their modeling like it is with like Heidi Klum.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in the age where the supermodel was sort of invented, like that whole era with Cindy Crawford and Christy Turlington and Naomi Campbell and what's her name? Who's the one that was Kate Moss?
Kate Moss. She came in and really changed the whole game. Like it was like you had like the Christy Turlingtons or like, Brooke Shields or these different models who were gorgeous, but Kate Moss came in and had the wayfish thing where it's like her eyes are really wide set. She's like kind of like has like an elf look. She's like incredibly thin, incredibly tall, like to like a freakish degree. And like, I think the world of being a supermodel like changed from that point on. It's like a different game. Like
heroin chic.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you have like supermodels, that's all heroin chic, and then you have like Sports Illustrated models, and that's kind of like the Christy Turlington genre of supermodel.
Well, and Kate Moss dated Johnny Depp. That coupling, like when they were both like peak hot, it was like
and like peak on drugs.
Peak on, just chaotic and like there's something wonderful about people in their youth who are super good looking, but also basically just engaging constantly in self-destructive behavior. Like a super hot person like chain smoking is like
Oh yeah, it's
more
like
hot
the coolest
than,
thing ever.
yeah, somebody who's like gross who's chain smoking, it's like ew. But like
Yeah, okay,
when Kate Moss is like chain smoking, it's like she can do it and still look like that.
I mean, that's really like kind of the thing that you brought in was like, okay, like I'm way too thin. All my clothes are too big. Like I'm smoking a cigarette. I'm probably like doing cocaine. My eye makeup's a little bit smudged, but I'm also like the most gorgeous girl you've ever seen. It's like Mary-Kate and Ashley also have kind of that sort of thing. Like it's like an evolution from like, you have like Marilyn Monroe to Audrey Hepburn. You go from like a, buxom, like, hot bombshell to kind of like a thin, waifish girl. And then that Audrey Hepburn look kind of kept on going until like we went back to like getting the Marilyn Monroe, Christy Turlington kind of genre, which then switched over to the Audrey Hepburn kind of genre in modern times, which involved a lot of drugs and involved a lot of like fucked up shit. Because it was more modern.
Not Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn wasn't doing drugs.
No. But like the modern version of like, you had Marilyn Monroe to Audrey Hepburn, and now you have Christy Turlington to Kate Moss. And it's like the same like cultural shift in like body type.
Yeah.
But the early 2000s version was way more fucked up.
I feel like in a weird way you have Kate Moss who's like the Audrey Hepburn archetype, like body wise, but she's doing drugs like Marilyn Monroe,
That's true. Yeah, she's fucked up like Marilyn Monroe, but has like the Audrey Hepburn body type. Yeah. It's kind of a hybrid.
I like Kate Moss.
Me too. I mean, she doesn't seem like a super like friendly person, but like.
But I feel like she's like, she doesn't play the game, and she has some. I feel like she's kind of, I don't know. I'm totally pulling this out of my ass. I have no idea what she's like, but I just feel like she doesn't give a fuck and doesn't take herself too seriously. I think that's what I think.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think. I think she's very difficult and unfriendly, but also like.
But what do you base that on? What do you base that on?
I've heard stories, I think. Like, there's, like, famous stories about her being, like, kind of difficult and, like, on drugs and showing up late to things and stuff. But maybe not now, Maybe in her, like, older years, she's gotten more together. Who knows? And, like, I don't, like, blame her for it. I'll bet she's kind of a fun person.
Plus, like, imagine being that, you're the supermodel and, like, everyone's eyes are on you and you've got to be, like, walking around in your underwear and, like, I would be, I'd be, like, cranky, too, I bet.
Yeah, you got to kind of like set up some boundaries there. Otherwise, like, it's gonna come off as cranky if you set up boundaries. But like, you need to survive.
Yeah, no doubt. So I think it's time for Brad Learns.
Brad Learns. Let's hear the theme song.
And it's a new one. It's a country
song. Please enjoy.
Some country vibes to because we want to broaden the appeal of this show to people who, exactly, with people who like country music, who are currently like fully armed.
Exactly.
This is a big tent here at Brad and Mira for the culture.
That's right. So if you believe in the Second Amendment, please enjoy our new theme song. So today's Brad Learns is a bit of a Mira Learns too, because I must admit this is one reality show that I don't watch. So this is about the show Love is Blind, which, okay, so from what I understand, the TV show Love is Blind, just to give some background, which again I've never watched, but it is a show where basically they have couples talk to each other from behind a screen, so you can only see like an outline of the person. And then they fall in love with each other or whatever and choose to couple with each other and to, I think, get married, but before they can ever see each other's face. So like the idea is like, do you really not care about looks, or like, will the looks like, stop you from being with somebody who you otherwise really like? So that's the concept of the show. Now, the story headline says, Love is Blind's Steven Richardson claps back after a fan accuses him of using dog for, quote, selfish needs. I don't even know. So
wait, like having like sexual activity involving his dog?
It seems like it, yeah. So like, okay, he posted What the fuck?
Wait. Here it says the season 7 Love Is Blind star, age 34, had some choice words for an Instagram user after they commented on a photo of his dog Clementine, writing, quote, "Someone call animal control because God knows what this pervert does to satisfy his own selfish needs." End
And
quote.
then he didn't take lightly to the comment, pinning it to the top of his page and responding in all caps, "Don't you dare come after my fucking dog, I will destroy you." And then he posted a screenshot of the interaction to his Instagram grid, sharing a lengthy and stern warning to people who come after his pup.
Okay, so this is, I feel like he's protesting too much.
Right? Because it's like, okay, I was thinking, like, is there some kind of, like, story, rumor circulating about how this guy, like, fucks his dog? But no. It just...
I mean, that's the one you ignore, right? I mean, people are, if you're a public person in any capacity and you're posting on Instagram, you've got to be ready for trolls. And I just feel like people say shit. It's not worth, you don't engage, right? That's
right. Why is he pinning the comment and screenshotting it just to say, like, I don't fuck my dog? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, of course you don't.
It's like you go to his page and it's like, all right, like, I didn't think that you were fucking your dog, but now it kind of seems like you fuck your dog.
Yeah, he's like, he said, I think on the Instagram post, quote, "PSA, anyone that owns a pet, regardless of how you feel about me," and the word "me" is in all caps, "as a make-believe individual should be absolutely disgusted by this level of degeneracy and hatred. This one is a genuinely personal attack. If you want to see genuine hostility about a subject or individual, then I will show you hostility when it comes to my dog.
What the fuck?
All of you should really take a second to see just how over the line each and every one of you on my comment sections are acting as grown adults. You wanting to vilify me for your own entertainment is one thing, since you clearly can't wait before getting the whole story. But please, for the love of God, don't be an actual lowlife from Cretan." Or no, a lowlife form Cretan. Jesus Christ.
Fuck?
This guy's losing it.
What in the hell? I don't, so like, why, where did this start? Like, was there some kind of accusation here that he's responding to? Because otherwise this is genuinely just like completely unhinged. Like,
warning social media users that if they, quote, "ever dare to attack my child and think you will get away with it," end quote. Richardson went on to explain that he will, quote, "go to war for his dog."
What in the fuck? It's like, they're not even saying anything bad about his dog. They're saying it about him.
Quote, "Don't you ever in your right fucking mind go so far as to insinuate that I am fucking my own dog again.
What the fuck?
I hope you never experience anything of the same, and I hope you sincerely thrive in everything you do," he concluded. "Remember, you might be loved, but it will not be by me or Clementine. Now have a good day." This guy's having a breakdown.
This guy fucked his dog.
I think he
fucked his dog. This guy fucks his dog. I don't know what other conclusion anyone could possibly come to.
It's a really intense response to a throwaway, like, garbage troll comment, you know.
If somebody like commented on your Instagram, if they comment on your Instagram like you're fucking your dog, you like delete the comment.
Or just block them. You block them and go on with your day.
Yeah, or just like fucking ignore it. Like, you don't like respond to it and screenshot it and then respond to it again unless you're fucking your dog.
What kind of dog is it? I don't even.
Okay, good question. Really good question. Let's see. What the fuck kind of dog is it?
I don't know. Is his Instagram available? Let's see.
Well, I mean, you could definitely see the dog fucking comment.
It's a dachshund, I think.
Dachshund. Is that like a long ear? Like,
it's like a wiener dog. It's a tiny. It's a long-haired miniature dachshund.
So he's fucking his wiener dog?
Hey, listen, allegedly.
When he got the dog, did he know that isn't why it's called a wiener dog? Like, that's not the purpose of the dog? Like, did he buy it? He was like, oh, this dog is for my wiener.
So there's other pictures of him with this dog. One, he's like, looks like he's smoking a joint. You would like this, Mira. Smoking a joint with his wiener dog. Then there's another one where the dog is posing on the sidewalk and the word sunshine is written on the sidewalk. I don't know.
Fucking it. I think that's kind of like a hard launch of like, I'm fucking my dog.
He's just going to roll it out, working with the publicity team to
roll out. I mean, he's doing a slow roll, you know, it's like a soft launch of fucking his dog, but like, he's, you know, he's fucking his dog.
I've never seen this guy before. He seems like he's kind of like an alpha type dude who's into like kettlebells and supplements.
I mean, when the first thing that you hear about somebody is them doing a lengthy Instagram post saying that they didn't fuck their dog, I have no other opinions about this man besides that he's fucking his dog. I don't know what else to think.
He was in the military.
Yeah, so he's fucking his dog for sure then. He's a military pervert out here just buying a dog saying, oh, this is the wiener one? Okay, great. Put my wiener in it.
Yeah, it's like guys, I think, in like a certain kind of guy in particular, if you like question his sexuality in any way, just freaks out.
It's gay to fuck your dog.
I mean,
he doesn't have any issue with actually fucking your dog. It's just that it's like a little gay.
Maybe he's gay.
He's like, I was fucking my dog, no homo.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of seeing some semi-gay like photos. I don't know anything. Maybe he's out. Who knows? Maybe he's.
Well, no, because he was on Love Is Blind with the girl.
Oh, all right.
But like that's like a big leap from like, oh, like he's maybe gay to like, I'm not fucking my dog. Stop saying I'm fucking my dog.
In all caps, just the all caps denial of having intercourse with your animal is.
It's so insane. It's like if I fucking like went on Instagram and I was like, what? Like I did not steal my neighbor's cat. I never stole my neighbor's cat. That is a crazy accusation to make. This is a cat I found on the street. Like, I'm like, what the fuck?
They're fucking the dogs. They're fucking the cats.
What impression is that?
That's have you seen that meme on TikTok of it's like they've made some sort of like hip. Yeah, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the dogs. Eat the cats. Like it's
now they're fucking them.
Yeah.
That's what the immigrants are doing. They moved on from eating. Right. Fucking.
Yeah, this guy. He looks like he's Irish. Is he an Irish immigrant? And The
Irish immigrants are fucking your dogs.
I would keep your pets close, ladies and gentlemen.
Those Irish, they will.
It's a plague.
Dog.
It's a plague sweeping over this nation.
Well, on that note, Brad, it's been a lovely show.
It always is. It always is edifying and like deeply nourishing at like the soul level to talk with you about this stuff, Mira. I think we're doing God's work.
Yeah, I think so too. And like we will stay on this dog fucking story and we will let you know if he continues to protest, in which case I think we might want to call animal control. So, send us some emails to letters@otherppl.com. Is that right, bro?
Yeah, letters@otherppl.com, and we'll read them on the air.
Let us know how you feel about Steven, I fuck my dog, and if he fucks his dog. Let us know what you had for breakfast. Let us know how you feel about Brad's voice memo in which he says that eating is basically the same thing as pooping.
I just say it's related. I mean, undeniably.
It's related, sure. But you did kind of directly compare the two. Just so you know, might be something to talk to your therapist about.
All right, I'm Brad Listi,
and I'm Mira Gonzalez.
We'll be back next week.
Bye-bye.